Good. Glad to be back. Another Monday in the kingdom of Moab. Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's Anayata reporting to you live from Washang Bay in Shenzhen, China. I've been learning out here for about 7 years, to be exact, give or take. Glad to be out here. The water to the Most High for seeing fit that He should move me as a vessel to preach His word and do His work out here in the kingdom of Moab. As it is spoken, or as it is written, this current system shall not fall until the word gets preached in the four corners of the earth. And that includes amongst Moab, which is one of the main kingdoms in these last days. So, I'm truly thankful to be out here. With that being said, I don't want to hold you guys up for too long. Get out here, go through a few scriptures or whatever, prophesying the downfall of Moab and this current system, and linking the scriptures to this current system and to Moab, because a lot of times, as you know, the brothers came up out of the West, meaning like North America, and many of the scriptures actually also fit to a T many of the kingdoms out here in the East. And I'm just thankful that the Most High saw fit that I was a vessel worthy to do His work out here in the East. So I'm going to jump into some of the scriptures that prophesy the downfall of this kingdom. Let me just pan around so you guys can see where I'm at. For brothers that are out here in China, if you catch these videos and you want to do the work, come meet me out here. I'll be out here every Monday, hopefully around 10 o'clock or so, to do the work. So here, let me show you guys around. This is Washang Bay. This is known as the Silicon Valley of the East, right? So any product, any technological product you want, you can find here for cheap, right? And I myself have started a business, an exporting business. So if you guys need cameras, you need SD cards, you need anything to get the work done, or even outside of that, I can probably find it for you for cheap. So yeah, get at me. I'll leave my link in the description. So to get us started, one of the things I want to start with is the idea of science. Right? So as we know, the Most High, He talked about science in the scriptures. I'll let the scriptures speak for themselves as we go through. But yeah, one of the things that Moab has leaned on for its advancement in terms of this modern culture is science and technology. They truly believe that science is going to save them in these last days. And as we know, there's nothing going to save you from the Most High when He turns that switch on. So let's jump right into it. Let's go to Psalms 93:1. Well, actually, you know what? We could start at Joshua 10:7. Let me just double check. Bear with me, brothers. Give me a moment. Let's go to Psalms 93:1. Good. So the scriptures say, Psalms 93:1. The Lord reigneth; He is clothed with majesty. Right. So the Most High, in all His wisdom, when it's talking about clothing, it's not talking about clothing in and of itself, as many as you brothers know. It's talking about his wisdom, his philosophy, his way of thinking, like it's written. My thoughts are higher than yours. So the way the Most High thinks, we're not even close to that level. And that way of thinking is what protects him in his majesty and all his glory. Now, Moab, they've been cut off from any spiritual belief systems. That happened back in the 1940s. I'm not sure the exact year, but I know that under the reign of Mao Zedong, they were cut off from any spirituality and moved on to a philosophy of self-reliance, where there's no belief in a higher system. The only thing that's going to save you is yourself and your hard work, which to a certain extent is true, right? You do need to work hard to prosper and stuff like that, but it's not the main way that you will get ahead or that you will save yourself in these last days. Your hard work will come to naught in these last days, according to the scriptures. So, that being said, reading on. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also established that it cannot be moved. Yeah, so the way it works, unbeknownst to many Moabites out here, is that what the Most High set down, everything starts in the spiritual world, and then that trickles down into what we would call the physical, which is actually the reverse, right? So the world that we live in is actually a dream, and the spiritual world is what's more real. But because so many of us are carnal-minded, we believe that the world that we live in, that we can feel, touch, smell, taste, hear, and see, we think that this world is what's true, but it's actually the opposite. It's the spiritual world. And so what the Most High says, what he says goes, and Moab is totally removed from that understanding, a belief in the fact that giving submission, right? Giving submission to a power that's greater than you, that you cannot feel or that you cannot experience with the five senses, is what's actually true in this time and in this world. But as it's written, you know, everybody will be brought back to remembrance in the days, in the time, in the day of the Lord. Reading on. The throne is established of old. Thou art from everlasting. Yeah, so the Most High, he's gonna live. He's the only thing that's gonna last forever and ever. You know, I had a conversation with my mother earlier today, and I was trying to get into it with her about leaving America, because as we know, America is not fit to stand for much longer. And you know, I asked her, and for her, it's just totally beyond the realm of belief that America is going to be fine. Like she can't even fathom it. So, and she's somebody who would consider herself spiritual. You know, she goes to church every day, and I love my mother. Of course I do. But you know, I think about how far removed Moab is than from my mother. My mother, who's somebody who believes they're spiritual, she can't even grasp what's going to happen next. And so how do you think of a people that is fully devoid of any spirituality or any belief in something higher than themselves, how do you think they're going to last in this coming day of the Lord? You know, so reading on. The floods have lifted up, O Lord, the floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their waves, right? So the floods is talking about these philosophies, and that's what's going to take everybody by surprise. You know, living out here in the East, you have one of the things, you know, you see it in the West when you think about like Satanism and stuff like that, and like being a Pentecostal Christian or being a Seventh-day Adventist or whatever. You see it in the West, but you really feel it here in the East when there's nothing around you that's even remotely close to being spiritual, because either it's Buddha Buddhism, Taoism, which I spoke of last week, or what is it, Buddhism, Taoism, or just being an atheist, right? Not believing at all. And so out here, just living in a kingdom that's fully devoid of anything spiritual, it really hits home how much these people are going to suffer in these last days, believing in all these lies and all these different philosophies, which, as it's named in the scriptures, a flood. The Lord on high is mightier than the noise of many waters. Exactly. So again, we talked about how the Lord is clothed in wisdom, and it's basically this is an allegory. What it's saying is that, yeah, the Lord is mightier, but it's not talking about the Lord himself, but it's talking about what the Lord believes, or not what he believes, but how can I say, what the Lord is. I'll say it that way. What the Lord is, right? And how he designed the universe to function. The Lord and his word is mightier than any waters, any philosophies, so to speak, right? So when you talk about Buddhism, when you talk about Taoism, when you talk about atheism, Seventh-day Adventists, all these other factions of what you would call religion or submission, they don't even stand close to how the Lord works. I'll give you an example, as I spoke of last week. Many Moabites, when they go on to pray and show obeisance to whatever God it is that they pray to, they always only pray for the same thing, which is to be rich and which is to be successful. That's all they care about. And so if that's all you're running to your God for, you know, you're going to be totally lost in these last days, and it's good for them. Yeah, then the mighty waves of the sea. The testimonies are very sure. Holiness becometh thine house, O Lord, forever. Right, so cleanliness, righteousness is what's going to prevail in the end, when everything else comes to naught. Right, when everybody else finally sees how their belief system, their philosophies are of none effect. Right, like right now, as I'm standing up here teaching, I have a bunch of Moabites probably on break from their job. They're sitting down on the ledge and they're looking after me or whatever, and they don't know what's going on. Just